Hello, Team video. Today we're going to take a look at a team from the world champion Dancing Rob here that he used also to get like to the veteran rank. I got with this team to 2600 rating. Still, I'm a little bit sick, so if I sound a little bit weird, I'm sorry for this, but I'm getting better right now, so going to be hopefully alright tomorrow. As we see here, Drifblim against us and we see Scrafty coming in against us. We could have stayed in there for a little bit, but of course our Nidoqueen is a little bit of a better matchup as you're going to be able to resist those counters. We can go ahead, go for one Poison Fang here, and this one will get the debuff on the opponent as we can try to shield and farm them all the way down. Hopefully it's not a bait. It is a bait, but I don't think they get to another move in time, so I can just farm them down. They get to one more move, but it should be a power punch here correctly. And now we have a ton of energy, and we can just most likely even bait if they come back into the Drifblim. What we're gonna do here, we can go for one Poison Jab and we get Poison Fang, and we can get the shield here, go for an Earth Power now, and let's see if we can KO them as well. As they're actually going to let this move go through, we see a Trevenant coming in, and we have our Drifblim. This is a triple XL team. He didn't use the Shadow Drifblim as far as I know, and I also don't know his moveset. I'm running here the Awkward Tail, which is a little bit better against something like the Nidoqueen, which is supposed to come in here as well. And also something like the Galarian Stunfisk would be a little bit better, those ground types in general. I think Awkward Tail is the way to go, to be honest. Sludge Bomb does make some sense against some Charm users, but other than this, I definitely recommend you to run this kind of moveset. I played like 4 sets with this team, definitely a solid one. Gained a little bit of elo. It's a very consistent team. I don't really think it's like the craziest team. Sometimes you just get hardwalled, but I think this is just like the in general theme for the Open Ultra League. I'm not the biggest fan of the Open Ultra League, to be honest. It was refreshing in the beginning, but now it's like everybody runs ABB lines like this line as well. We have a double poison line with the dark type in the lead. It's nothing crazy. But like it is just ABB lines countering each other, and it feels like other than Great League, there's a lot of times no real chance for you to realign your Pokemon or get any kind of advantage, and it's basically playing out a game which is already pre-decided based on the Pokemon you choose basically. I actually had a 15-game lose streak, not with this team, don't worry, but with other teams afterwards, where I just got hardwalled all the time, like the entire time I get hardwalled, lost 15 games in a row. Never happened to me before. Wasn't really too sad because I literally was just playing for fun, sick and bad, but it was fine. As we see a very tough lead here with the Dragonite. Dragonite now has access to the move Superpower. We've seen Ascarf coming in here, which is of course not the ideal scenario for us. We're going to go for the bait now. We're going to shield this move up as this is going to be a draw run, which would KO us, but they should most likely shield this one up as well. And they do, which is nice for us. We should be able to outspeed them, but they can go for another one here. And now we can just go ahead and go for one crunch as well, as we're going to be able to easily get to 2 crunches before they can get to 2 drill runs. And we will be able to realign, which doesn't help us too much, I think, because our Nidoqueen is also kind of only neutral against this Dragonite. This team doesn't really have a lot against Dragonite, as we can at least go for another Awkward Tail here and do a little bit more of damage here, as I actually did more damage than I thought because of the debuff. And we can farm this thing down, and a very nice catch by the opponent here into the Trevenant. I'm gonna go ahead and farm this thing down a little bit more as well, trying to keep one move stored for the Dragonite later on. Go into my Scrafty now, and I hope that I can just KO this Pokemon here. Hope that they have to throw against me before, and I hope that I can go for another Poison Fang to finish off the Dragonite at the end there, as we see a Seed Bomb coming through again. I'm pretty sure the Dragonite has to throw against me as well. We're going to put him into range now with our Scrafty for one Poison Fang easily. As we see here them going for a charge move. They most likely have 2 stored now, but I'm pretty sure I saw I one with my Nidoqueen. Even though we're Shadow, it's still pretty bulky, and we should be fine here. This Poison Fang coming through, and this Poison Fang should be KOing this opponent here. Good game there. As we see the next one coming in, we see Cofagrigus against us. That's very good for us, especially also for our save swap later on with the Drifblim. I'm staying in here for a little bit because Nidoqueen is a little bit of a tough matchup to come back with this team. I need some damage on this Pokemon. Very good that they went straight for the Poison Fang, because now I can just swap into my Drifblim. I will be able to always outspeed them with the Awkward Tail, and I will always be able to KO them basically before. There's no way that they get any kind of advantage here, even if they bait me here, what they're going to do here. I can just go for 4 fast moves again, go for an Awkward Tail. There's literally no risk for this. It's always going to be perfectly fine for me. They're going to swap out now into their Ninetales, which is kind of awkward for me as I'm now kind of locked into this matchup, which I had to be honest, and I can only go for another one here. They have me already debuffed. There's some energy stored still on the Nidoqueen of themselves. I kind of have to shield this. I think I shouldn't have shielded, to be honest, but it's fine. We can try to farm them down. And at least we don't have to face a Charm user with our Scrafty, but they can go ahead and go into their own Cofag actually. That's kind of interesting. We can go ahead and go for one Poison Fang, and we should be able to reach another Earth Power in time, doing some nice damage here, but still going to be a little bit tough to come back from this all, as they're going to go for one Charge move here, which should KO us, most likely here with the Shadow Ball, and we can go into our Scrafty and try to farm all the way down. I'm going to try to get to another Charge move here and keep that for the Nidoqueen coming in. I'm not sure if they are already at a move, and they were not, but I threw one too much counter. They go for the Earth Power now, and this is going to be a good game. If I threw immediately there, I would have been fine, but I thought they had less energy than what they had there. It was kind of on my part. I could have won this game, but I didn't win this game because of my own mistakes. We see the next opponent here having a Walrein in the lead. Shadow Walrein is of course a very nice lead for us, as we really don't want to face it with the backline. Both Pokemon in the back are weak to the Earthquake, which they're throwing here right now. That's why I shielded as well. And also the Nidoqueen is weak to the other moves with the Ice type moves as well. So pretty nice for us. We see a Talonflame coming in. That's also not the best Pokemon to deal with our backline, but we can go ahead, go for 2 Foul Plays, which are boosted, and now swap into our Drapion, trying to catch the move here. Didn't work out. We can still survive any move, and they go actually for the Brave Bird here, which does a ton of damage, but we see a Giratina coming in, which we can answer here with one Crunch. They still have to go for a Charge move against me to KO us, and we're actually going to shield this up. I think so. No, we don't. We're going to let this move go through, and we go back into our Scrafty. We should be fine going for 2 Foul Plays here, I think. But still, actually, I'm not sure if I play this correctly. Do I shield this here? I don't shield this. I think I survive it still. I survive it, and I can still go for 1 Foul Play here. Now I should have enough shields for my Nidoqueen to deal with the Talonflame, and yeah, I will be able to win this game here. There's nothing that they can do. We shield up once. This has to be a Brave Bird. It is a Brave Bird, and we can actually just farm them down at this point of time. It's easier. Waste not a lot of time for going for the Charge move here. And we see another Meganium in the lead here, so we can go into our Drapion. Sadly, we don't have Sludge Bomb here, but we can still bait it here, going for the Crunch instead. And let's see if they want to shield this up. They do not want to shield this up, and I of course have to shield up the potential Earthquake by this Pokemon. It's going to be a bait, but better safe than sorry, as we see a Charizard coming in that doesn't really want to face my Awkward Tails here. Here, Awkward Tails just way better. Especially as they have Dragon Breath, which is really good for me, as Dragon Breath doesn't generate energy as fast as the other moves of Charizard, and also is in general not as good. We see the opponent going for 1 Blast Burn here. We can easily shield this move up, as the Awkward Tail going to do some pretty nice damage. I undercharge because I know that I can get some Poison Stings off for this, and I will be able to go for another Crunch in time. Should be able to get the final shield there, or put this Pokemon very low, and I get this Pokemon low. I'm going to catch the move onto my Scrafty here, and I will see that they have a Talonflame in the back. Catching the move there might have not been the smartest idea, but I'm not sure. They can now get a ton of energy here, and they actually shield this move. That's kind of interesting. They go for a Flame Charge here, which will not KO me, but they can KO me afterwards with some more moves. It's going to be really tough to win this game still. I think I have to go into my Nidoqueen and try to catch a move, but I'm not sure if I have even time for this. I have the time. Can I catch it? I can catch the move. Is it still enough though? It is a Brave Bird. That's amazing for me. Can I get to another Poison Fang? I can get to another Poison Fang. I think after the debuff, this should KO them, and I think it did, but it cut out there, but I'm pretty sure I won the game. We see the next opponent here. Seeing a Drifblim in the lead is actually, it seems good, but Drifblim against Scrafty is an awkward scenario. It's the same, by the way, against Obstagoon as well, as you resist like all the ghost types and whatever, but Icy Wind over time, they get to the move so fast, it just adds up, and they're pretty bulky, so they're going to be able to survive your moves after a while. And Icy Wind just adds up after a while as well. It's just crazy. The matchup is always way worse than you think, because usually the main source of damage that you have with your Scrafty going to be the counter, and of course counter does like next to nothing. They catch the move here pretty nicely on the Obstagoon, which allows us now to go into our Nidoqueen. which we really don't want to have against Drifblim anyway. We can keep our Scrafty alive in the back, which is going to allow us to have swap in against like the debuffing moves, which is going to be very nice. We see a Night Slash coming through from the Obstagoon. We can go ahead and go for another Poison Fang here, trying to KO this Pokemon. And we are currently at least in a pretty decent spot here. But I can actually save those shields. Like, I don't really need my Nidoqueen anymore. I'm pretty sure that my Drapion can deal with whatever they have in the bag. Unless it's like a Charm user or whatever, we should be pretty fine here. But like, the team doesn't really make too much sense here either, because they need a kind of good save swap, to be honest. Like, you need a save swap for the Drifblim answers, as Obstagoon usually is not the best save swap, as it's so weak to Charm and Fighting type Pokemon. But of course, they have a Charm user in the bag. Of course, we can only go for the Awkward Tail here, which doesn't really help us too much. And yeah, this is the issue with Awkward Tail. You just do not do enough damage against Charm users. And now we're going to go down with 2 shields, which is very nice, and it doesn't really help us here. And we're going to lose this match, sadly. Not really sure about the team, to be honest. I don't really know like how this team works, but I guess it works. Very interesting team. But we see a Cresselia against us here right now. This is kind of horrible, as they have Moonblast. And Moonblast is a move that's going to destroy our lead, definitely. And if they have the Future Sight, which I see a lot right now for whatever reason, I have no idea, it would also be a little bit tricky for our Nidoqueen in the back. We're going to actually not go for another charge move here, because I want to get more energy, because they will not die to another one anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and go for another Awkward Tail now. They're going to shield this one up. I can go for another one. They're going to have to shield this one up, I think. And they do, and I can go for another one, thanks for this. And they don't even farm me down in time, and I will be able to win switch, win also the shield advantage, and get a crunch onto this Cresselia. If we get the debuff here, this would be amazing, and we do not get the debuff, sadly. But I think we can go for one foul play here with our Scrafty, which should seal the deal. Never mind, it doesn't, and we have to shield now, which is kind of awkward. And hopefully they don't have something like a Nidoqueen in the back, because it would be a little bit tricky. We can farm down with our Nidoqueen. It's going to be a Trevenant. And this should be a pretty easy game here, as we can just go ahead, go for one Poison Fang here, and they just decide to surrender anyway. We have like very nice answers for Trevenant. The entire team is basically good against Trevenant, which is nice. Here we see the Scrafty against Scrafty matchup. Kind of tricky. It's like a 50-50, to be honest. I think it's always going to be a draw at the end of the time. I thought, like, because I win CMP here, I might be better off because I get my Power Punch through the next time, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much. I can just go ahead and go for another one here. And I actually thought of, maybe I just swap out here. Maybe I keep my Scrafty alive for a potential Registeel in back, and I swap out, and we see a Swampert coming in here. Swampert is a little bit awkward for this team, as you are double weak to it in the back. You really need your Scrafty for it, and my Scrafty is basically dead. So we have to shield it up here. We have to try to get as many shields as possible. We have to try to get this thing as low as possible. And we just go for Awkward Tails here, trying to get the shields from them, trying to go for another one here. They get to their next charge move, but I'm going to be able to outspeed them to the next one as well. So I should be able at least to outspeed them, I think. And I can just go for the Awkward Tail spam. And I think I get to my next one in time, but I just swap out for whatever reason. Why did I swap out there? I think I would have got to my next one in time. Okay, I definitely misplayed it. Never play when you're sick, I guess. Okay, I don't think this was the right idea. They can go for another move here, and I think now we're going to lose this matchup. Yeah, I don't think I played this correctly. Very nice. But we see the opponent having a Nidoqueen. We barely don't get to the move, but it wouldn't have KO'd anyway, as far as I know. So, very interesting gameplay there. We see the next opponent having a Swampert in the lead. We have to stay in here, of course, as Swampert is very good against our backline. We can go ahead and go for one foul play straight, and afterwards we can just go for power up-ups if we want to. As power up punches, power puffs? I don't know what I just said. We see the Earthquake coming through. Very good that we shield the Earthquake, to be honest, because this would do a ton of damage, and now they can go for one more Hydro Cannon, but doesn't really matter. We will be able to realign here, and we will be able to get rid of one of the biggest threats for my backline, and one of the biggest threats for my team as well is here again, the Nidoqueen. As we don't really want to face it at all, I'm going to swap into my Drapion, which I don't think was the right decision here, as it's pretty, like, it's already loaded with energy. I'm like one shield below, like, I don't know, it wasn't the smartest. They go for another Awkward Tail, I go for another Aqua Tail and they go for an Earth Power. Earth Power is really good for me. They're actually going to let this move go through, which is really good for me as well. As now I'm going to be able to most likely farm down with my own Nidoqueen. They go into that Trevenant, which is going to be a little bit tricky, to be honest. I can go for one Poison Fang here, and I should be able to swap out maybe on the potential Shadow Ball here. Let's see what they're going to throw. They're going to throw a Seed Bomb, and they will be able to farm me down now. I don't get to another move. I have to try to farm them all the way down. I have to try to survive one move here, which is going to be a Shadow Ball, of course, and I will be just able to survive it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and go for one Poison Fang here now. Trying to get to another one after this, and I'm trying to KO him with that one here, and we will be able to still win this game. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, have a great rest of your day, bye!